Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Midnight Launch News in forever. My name is David.
And I'm Dan.
And today, we're talking about one thing. Well, we're talking about
one thing with many
things. But within one thing. We're going to be talking about E3 today. And today, we're going to be looking at the chances of stuff happening. We're probably going to talk about some shit that has already been debunked because, I haven't been keeping up. And Dan hasn't been keeping up. And we both didn't realize EA was having their conference tomorrow. We're on top of things.
We figured we had another day to research.
That's exactly what I'm going with. That is absolutely right.
And we're also lazy, so.
And I have a job now, and adulting's hard, and we just got done talking about that. So basically, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going back and forth, and we're going to debate some predictions about what might or might not happen at E3 this year. So Dan, are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Are you do you already have Google up and you're researching and you're
I do! I already do!
Oh my god.
You know me so well.
Oh my god. Alright. So I'm going to start you out with a curveball because I know some of the things that you're going to ask me, or at least I might know all of them if you're following the script, but you don't know what I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
So this one, we're actually going to be talking about EA, since their show is tomorrow. So what are the chances that EA announces that Respawn Studios is working on Titanfall 3 and shows us a trailer?
Oh, I think it's pretty good. I mean, we're almost 2 years away from Titanfall 2 having come out. And it was already confirmed that there is a Titanfall 3 in the works. I honestly didn't think there would be. I would have thought that just the way that EA kind of screwed Respawn by putting Titanfall right between Battlefield and Call of Duty, that sales would have been really piss poor. But no, apparently it did well enough to warrant EA greenlighting Titanfall 3. So I think we could see a teaser. I don't know that we will hear that that Titanfall 3 is coming out this fall. I feel like we would have heard a little bit more by now if it was going to come out this fall, but who knows? They might just come up and be like, hey guys, Titanfall 3, 2 weeks, it's happening.
I don't know. I don't know if we see it. I would like to see it because I love Titanfall 2, specifically the single-player campaign. I think was one of the best first-person shooter single-player campaigns maybe ever. I really do think it was one of the best ever. But, it was
really good.
You've got a whole ton of other titles that they're going to want to be showing off, some of which are obviously first-person shooters. We'll talk about maybe one of them later on. So I don't know. We'll just talk about it. Let's talk about Anthem. Now, it's really funny because we both got lists together, right? And then you sent me your list. And we had 3 things that we both put on the lists. But the way we put them, they were completely opposite. So, for example, you had said Anthem will get a gameplay demo and will have exclusive content on the Xbox One.
Yes.
My prediction was that Anthem is not present at E3.
Okay.
So let's talk about Anthem. You think Anthem is going to be at E3, right?
I do, and mostly because they say the initial release date is going to be 2019. Now, whether that's fall or whatnot, I don't know. But if they showed off a demo last year, and they're planning on even releasing in fall of 2019, I still think we're going to see something for it. Maybe more of the story of Anthem. We got an actual demo
Right.
Of somebody mimicking playing the game
Right, a
on
gameplay
stage,
trailer,
right?
basically.
Yeah, we got a gameplay trailer. So I think as long as everything is on timeline,
Mm-hmm.
they should be good to have like oh god, what was this called again? I think it's a slice ready to go
Okay.
for a
Sure.
gameplay. I'm trying to remember
Right. So
the
an individual area or an individual
yeah.
level that kind of shows off what the game is going to be about. That's what they call it, sort of in the industry.
Yeah.
And within your slice, you try to put in as many of the mechanics as possible, so that the viewer can get a feel for what the game is going to be. Um,
Yes.
if it's not at E3, uh, do you think Anthem, like, do you think that's it for Anthem? Like,
No, I don't think so. Mostly because I've actually been seeing a bunch of gaming websites talking about Anthem at E3.
mm-hmm,
So there's a lot of chatter about it.
right,
I guess if EA just goes completely radio silent on it, um, I'm not sure what to think about that, because then that actually makes me a little bit worried about BioWare as a studio, because as far as I know, they are not showing anything Dragon Age.
right.
They flat out said there's no Dragon Age this year. They have not mentioned anything Mass Effect. And
But
my
they
personal
probably won't
opinion,
for a while.
yeah, my personal opinion is they need to let, like, I know it's only been like a year and a bit,
Yeah, you need
but
to
I
let
think they
like
still need to give gamers a little time to recover from that.
yeah,
So,
you need to let the coals kind of grow cold because people are
yeah,
still angry
yeah,
about Mass Effect and rightfully so. I
yeah,
personally think.
yeah,
So I think we both agree that Anthem will be there. I think it would be the talk of the show, of all of the shows, if Anthem does not show up.
yeah,
Like, I cannot imagine the industry chatter if we don't see Anthem and it's completely radio silent.
right.
So what did you have for me? I'll just kind of
Oh
bounce
well,
back
we
and
we also
forth.
have another we have also have another thing for Anthem, and that was that Xbox will get like first exclusive content.
Ooh, that's a
And
good one.
yeah,
I think there's a very good chance that that happens. I
yeah, and I'm
think.
kind of thinking like Xbox looks at Destiny, and even though Destiny's a bit of a shit show these days,
Mm-hmm.
people are still going back. Like I'm still playing Destiny 2, even though its current state is arguably worse than Destiny 1 right now.
I,
Um,
I think that's fair.
but there's still tons of people playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it obviously has a following. And I know that I'm a little bit choked that I have to wait basically a full year to get like an extra strike, an extra like 3 Crucible maps and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Xbox might try and, I mean, they lost the Call of Duty, or they gave up the Call of Duty exclusives.
Right.
So they don't have any uh there are no third party titles where they have exclusives first
So I want to
on
go.
it.
I want to go back to something you just said. Specifically, you said you're still choked up about having to wait a year and a half for those PlayStation exclusive strikes to
Yes.
make it to the Xbox One. And this I actually added to my list um, earlier today, I think, or maybe I kind of reformatted it. But what do you think the chances are that Bungie announces an end to PlayStation exclusive strikes within Destiny 2? Not necessarily weapons, but strikes specifically.
I guess it depends on what the contract with Sony is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think as long as Sony is willing to throw money at them to get exclusive everything first,
Right.
then like Bungie doesn't care, right? They don't care about the PC and Xbox people,
Yeah,
because
I
to
mean,
them it's Well, but it's more money that they get in so that they can continue development, right?
Right.
And that I think is a big thing for Bungie these days is they got to keep things rolling and make sure that they still have money rolling in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like there was a book I read recently called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, and it
That's the
just
one that Will's always talking about.
yeah he lent
He
it to me.
finally wore you down.
Oh no, I read it a while ago, but it went through Bungie getting away from Microsoft and then doing Destiny and whatnot, and the writer kind of gave this kind of idea that everybody at Bungie was stoked that they were independent finally. And then, like 2 years later, after Destiny Vanilla launches, everybody's kind of going, huh, grass is kind of greener on the other side.
I guess maybe it's just because I'm playing on the Xbox One, but I also think it's, you look at the PC as well, who doesn't get, these PlayStation exclusive strikes. And then you look at a lot of the players that just say there's not enough content right now.
Right.
Like they look at the number of strikes that there are, and you're just like, my God, there's absolutely nothing. I wonder, and I don't want to talk about this the entire show because I know we could, but I wonder if at some point Bungie is going to realize that this is doing more harm than good. Like maybe if those one or two exclusive strikes were released on all platforms, then the public perception of the game overall would change.
Maybe. I think it would be better to go Crucible wise if you're trying to placate the Xbox and PC people.
Okay.
Because as it stands right now, like up until they changed up how heroics work, like heroic strikes in Destiny work, like nobody did strikes. Like other than to get like your weekly milestone, and even now that's basically all they do. So I don't know that them going, hey guys, on Xbox and PC, we're going to give you one more strike.
Right.
We cool?
Yeah.
That's not going to placate anybody.
Yeah, I don't think it would immediately, but I wonder if the decision would sort of end up being more than, the sum of its parts. I wonder if there is a tipping point and there are a lot of people on that edge where like one or two more strikes across all platforms as opposed to just PlayStation having them, they would feel that like, hey, my money is now worth it. Look at all this content we've got. Because I mean, it's not even like one or two at this point. I think it's like 3 strikes.
Well, is it? Because I don't think, did they release extra strikes for Curse of Osiris and Warmind?
I think
Because
they
I don't
did.
think they. Well, I don't think they did because the strikes from both of those are just story missions at a higher difficulty.
I'm pretty sure they got. Oh my gosh, are we gonna Google this? Are we gonna end up talking about Destiny the entire time?
Well, okay. So here's my thing then. If it is that they have a third, they got extra strikes from Curse of Osiris and Warmind, but they're just more of the same, where it's just they took a story mission and turned it into a strike. Like,
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like that was the laziest of lazy things that they could have done.
I haven't even done the new strikes.
Well, again, no, you have done.
But they're story missions, right? Oh, Bungie, get better. I guess we'll just end that one at that. Bungie, get better.
Yeah. Let's move on. So you had, let's see, what should I ask you?
Oh, there's so
Nintendo,
much.
Pokemon, go.
Nintendo Pokemon, I don't think it's going to be on the floor. Okay, so they've just announced Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. They're trying to push Pokemon Go, which it actually confused me when you're like, Pokemon Go. I was like, Pokemon Go, it's a game for the cell phone. No, I know. I don't think it's going to be on the floor and granted, Nintendo doesn't actually show up at E3. They kind of do their own little like treehouse show and then they stream it. I think we might see a trailer for it. I don't think it's gonna be on the floor. I don't think it's gonna release this year either.
No.
I think it's. I don't think they want to pull the wind out of the sails of Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and cannibalize those by showing off the new Pokemon game, and then people are just like, I'm just gonna wait for the real one to come out.
Right.
So
in terms of that, then, do you think we'll maybe see? I mean, Breath of the Wind is still pretty new. What about a new Metroid then?
I do think we will see, because we know a new Metroid is coming. We saw a teaser trailer a while back that was honestly, it was just like Metroid. It was just the logo, and everyone's like, hey, a new Metroid.
And this shows you how much I care about Nintendo, because I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I honestly, I do think that we are going to see the new Metroid. And then to keep on Nintendo, let's see, what else were we talking about? You had said what was it you said?
That they're gonna announce like Super Mario Kart number 522 or something like that.
I actually
their go-to.
I don't think so. I
No?
don't think we're gonna see a new Super Mario Kart. And you think about that, and you're kind of like, well, then what does Nintendo have to announce? So it's like, if it's not Zelda, we know it's probably not going to be Mario because they just released one of those.
Right.
It's probably not going to be the new Pokemon. I mean, maybe we get a trailer. So let's say we get a Pokemon trailer. Let's say we get gameplay of the new Metroid game. And then maybe they'll show off like the new Fire Emblem game for the Nintendo Switch that we know is in development. But I wonder if Nintendo's show is going to be really, really weak this year.
Well, what about anything 3DS, 2DS related?
And that's... So, it would not surprise me at all if Nintendo goes completely radio silent on the 2DS and the 3DS family.
Right.
And completely focuses on the Switch, because the Switch has been an absolutely massive success. And while I'm sure development costs for the 2DS, 3DS family are far lower than they are for the Nintendo Switch, it's obvious that they want to push people from the 2DS and 3DS to the Nintendo Switch. That way they can consolidate their efforts, especially from a first-party standpoint. Right? Because you're just never going to, like, you can't port something from the 3DS to the Switch. Like, no. The quality is just, it's not going to be good enough. And you certainly can't go from the Switch to the 3DS because, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So
you melt the poor 3DS's.
Yeah, there's just absolutely no way. So I think that'll sort of be my bold prediction, is that they will not announce any new first-party titles for the 2DS and the 3DS, and I think the 3DS is on its way out. Like,
okay.
I think they're gonna stop supporting it from a first-party standpoint, and they're gonna let third-party publishers keep developing for it. But I think we're gonna start seeing a lot of smaller titles of very little consequence. And I think the sun is setting for the 3DS.
And at that point, pretty much the last of the handhelds. Because, I mean, sure, you can say that the Switch is a handheld as well, because you can literally hold it in your hands.
Right.
But that legacy of the portable, small gaming system...
Right. And,
is finally coming to an end.
We've seen Nintendo... almost embracing the mobile, ecosystem as far as cell phones. They've released a couple of games.
That Super Mario
Runner game.
Yeah.
Obviously, Pokemon Go has been an absolutely massive success.
I honestly think that you can get a decent visual, decent gameplay Mario like side scroller onto tablets, no problem. Like,
I
I definitely
agree.
think
I
that
think you would
there's
need. I think it
room
would
for
require a
controllers.
controller.
Maybe.
And
I mean, if it's just left and right and jump, and like maybe another one for like an attack, if you've got like the fire flower, whatever.
right,
I'm saying a very rudimentary, like nothing like Odyssey or even like even like Super Mario 64, though you could probably get 64 to work
well,
on a
and I mean,
tablet
like,
these days.
what's stopping Nintendo? Well, other than Nintendo being Nintendo, from being like, here, connect your Joy-Con to your cell phone
Yeah.
and use it for all these awesome Nintendo games that we're now putting out on the iPhone, and then maybe at some point Android. They'd probably go iPhone first.
I think
Um,
it's that Nintendo doesn't like not being in control of their products.
no,
And if they put them out on, like, especially with Apple, like, Apple basically is then dictating to them, like, how they can distribute it and
yeah,
what needs to be available for it to be on the store and whatnot. And Nintendo really doesn't like being told what to do.
nope, they certainly don't. I predict that 2DS and 3DS will be all but absent from E3. And I think Nintendo's going to have a weak show. I think when everyone goes and you know how all these, syndications, they review the E3 shows or whatever. And I think Nintendo's going to get a relatively low score.
Probably.
Let's move on. Let's move on to Xbox because we've got a couple things to talk about the Xbox. One
Right.
of them was your prediction, and I hope it's right. Let's talk about it. A new Elite controller will be announced, and here's
Here's
ooh,
my
here's
boldness.
the bold prediction. Will go on sale within 2 weeks after the show. What do you
Yep.
think the chances of that actually happening are?
So the reason why I think that it could happen, like, I am 100% convinced that we are going to see the new controller at E3. Like, it's already been confirmed that they're working on
Mm-hmm.
a replacement for it. It's going to have stuff like it's going to have its own charging dock
Yep. And
instead of just having,
I
yeah.
I 100% agree with you that we will see it. But do you
So
think it'll go on sale that quickly after it gets showed at E3?
so my reasoning for why is because they have done that before. Not specifically anything Xbox One related, but I remember when they announced the 360 Slim, they're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey guys, here's the 360 Slim, and guess what? It's on sale right now."
Right now. Yep.
Yeah. So there is a history of them doing stuff like that. Well, okay, maybe a single occurrence, but
Right.
the fact that they've done it once does mean that it is possible for them to do it again. Um, maybe it's me being pretty bold. I think obviously at the minimum, if they announce it, they're going to be taking pre-orders like day of.
Right. So we haven't talked about it. I work at GameStop now. And one of the observations that lends credence to the idea that we will at least see an Elite controller version 2 is the retail channel for Elite controllers has completely dried up.
Right.
Like, I work at GameStop. There's a Microsoft Windows store like right below me. And I constantly have people that go to the Windows store looking for an Elite controller, and Windows is like, or Microsoft is like, no, go upstairs and check with GameStop. And they come to me, and I'm like, man, I'm out of stock, and we haven't seen an Elite controller. I kid you not, we haven't gotten one in like 2.5 months.
Wow, that's surprising.
Like, I really do think Microsoft is trying to remove all of the version 1 controllers from the retail channel. That way they don't have to take markdowns on them when they announce the second coming of the
Well,
Elite
and that's the
controller.
thing too, is I've been seeing, like, with their Xbox, I think it's their summer days on right
Mm-hmm.
now. They've been, pushing like all controllers are like $15 off, $15 Canadian, $10 US, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the Elite.
Right.
Now, I mean, the Elite is a premium product, so typically you're not going to do sales on those premium products, but still, that lends a little bit more credence to that they're just trying to get the stock out of the way so that they have absolute room to get the V2 out immediately.
I will be pre-ordering immediately.
Oh, so will I.
Look, Sony is doing their damnedest. They've kind of announced their own controller to compete with the Elite controller. They teamed up with Scuff to make a similar controller to the Xbox Elite controller. And I think that is Microsoft's time frame. I think they have to release the new Elite controller before Sony releases their Pro controller.
Right.
And I think the release date for that is sometime in September or in October. Like it's a ways off.
Right.
So I definitely I know we'll see one before the year ends.
Oh,
and I think they're just I think they're sitting on it. Like I think it's done and they're just waiting for the retail channel to clear out and they're going to try to take the wind out of Sony's sails, and a week before Sony releases their new controller, that's when the Elite Controller 2 will release from Microsoft. Right. And it's going to be a good move. It's going to be a great move because these people... Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, let's just hope that maybe the quality is a bit better. Because I absolutely adore my Elite controllers, but the material quality has been less than ideal.
It's been crap. My Elite controller looks like it has gone through all of the wars and all of the battles that I have played through it virtually. Like, it looks like a piece of shit, but it's still working. It still feels amazing in the hands, despite the fact that I have no rubber grips anymore because they've come off. Like they're just completely gone. And, it feels like Nirvana when I'm holding it. I'm like, this is what it's supposed to feel like.
Right.
All right. So you had another one. And I saw this and I laughed out loud. I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
Xbox will have a bunch of exclusive game announcements. What are the chances of that happening?
Oh man, I really don't know. I really hope that they do well because they just got absolutely rolled last year by having virtually no exclusives to show off. Like they were like, "Hey guys, we're going to do the indie title thing and it's going to be great."
Dan, I've got a question for you. I've got a serious question for you. Can probability go into the negative? Because I think there is a negative 100% chance that Xbox will have a bunch of exclusive game announcements, and we're gonna segue this into Crackdown 3.
Okay.
You said Crackdown 3. This is one of the ones that we kind of agreed on, but just in different ways. You said Crackdown 3 will finally get a release date.
Yeah.
I said Microsoft announces Crackdown 3 is canceled.
Oh, and you're so wrong!
I am wrong, but we're certainly not getting a release date.
Well, we have a release window.
We have, it's been pushed back to 2019 is what we have right now.
February 2019.
February 2019.
So we have a 28-day release window then.
Would it surprise you if Crackdown 3 gets canceled?
I think it would surprise me just because they've put a lot of money into it.
Okay.
And for them to just pull the plug on it. Now, that being said, they did do, what was it, the Scalebound?
Scalebound.
They didn't have it last year. I think it was announced right before E3 last year that they had canceled it.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're still getting information that they're like, yeah, it's being delayed. Like, they're not going to say that to try and I really don't think they try and do that to save face right before E3 if it is in fact canceled. Like, they just wouldn't say anything about it if that were the case.
I think if you have canceled a game, but you don't want the negative press before E3. But you know you're not going to show it off at E3 because it has been canceled. I absolutely think it would be a shrewd move to say it's just been delayed. That
Yeah, but
way,
if it's
when you
been
don't show it
canceled,
off, people are like, oh, well, the reason is it's been delayed. You know, they're polishing it up, you know, they're making it good. So, of course, they're not going to show it off. It's been delayed.
so the reason why go the other direction is because, for one, Kotaku came out before Microsoft had even confirmed it, and said that it was still going to be coming out in February of next year. If it had straight up been canceled, that means that the developer studio is laying off developers. That means that those developers are going to be cranky about it. And sure, they've all signed NDAs.
So you think
there's nothing...
we would have heard something else?
I think we would have heard rumors about it. Now, the only way that you wouldn't hear about that is if the developer studio already had something else rolling and they were just able to shift all of their developers over to that.
Okay.
And you keep all those people happy. But typically when developers cancel titles, they start laying off en masse.
Right.
And if they were laying off en masse, then you would see something in the news about the studio just dumping people.
Right, or
if they...
Yeah, people would be updating their LinkedIns, and somebody would see that, like, you know, previously worked at Microsoft Studios, you know, so on and so forth.
Yeah, but that is only if they hadn't been able to reallocate those people elsewhere.
Right. All right, so I don't think Crackdown 3 will get a release date, because, I mean, I guess technically we already have one, sort of.
A window.
I don't think, like, my Microsoft announces Crackdown 3 is canceled. That's not something that would ever happen at an E3, because that's not what you do. You don't go on stage and be like, hey guys, we just canceled our new, because you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's not gonna happen. I'm worried about Crackdown 3. Like, I really am.
Well, if they're straight up canceling it, then they need something huge for an exclusive.
Yeah.
Because you can't show another Halo, you can't show another Forza. Like guaranteed, we're going to see Forza Horizon 4. You know, and that's, you know, don't get me wrong, I love me some Forza Horizon, but that's not going to make up for canceling Crackdown.
That's not going to carry.
You could announce a new Halo, a new Forza, and a new Gears, and that still would not make up for losing Crackdown.
Let's hope it's still there.
Yeah.
And let's move on.
Because I need me some Crackdown.
Let's move on. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I'm going to throw a curveball at you. This is one I added that you haven't seen.
Okay.
Bethesda announces a new Elder Scrolls title alongside Fallout 76.
That would be interesting. You know, it's funny because I've been seeing so much about how Fallout 76 is going to be like one of the survival games.
Right.
Like Rust, or I think DayZ,
or Ark,
or anything like that.
Like all of them.
And I was frankly surprised about that, because I wasn't really sure that Fallout would lend itself well to that type of title. However, I think that Skyrim, or not Skyrim, Elder Scrolls would 100% feel good as that kind of title. I personally think it would. Because I mean, like, what? Every Elder Scrolls you start out as, you're like, oh, I'm somebody who's just escaped an attack, or I was in a dungeon and I have nothing.
Yeah.
And I have to get out there, right? Like that's just how Elder Scrolls rolls.
Yeah, there is a lot of freedom within Elder Scrolls, and they do call it, you know, sort of like a sandbox experience.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, Fallout is pretty much the same, just with guns.
Yeah. I want them to announce a new Elder Scrolls, because I am ready for a new Elder Scrolls. I cannot play Skyrim for the 50th time. Like, if they re-release it again, I'm just done. Like, you know, I don't know, fucking Elder Scrolls Skyrim coming soon to the original NES. Like,
Right.
where do they? No, we have to get a new one.
Oh, and
Um,
Dave, that's going to be like the big title for Nintendo for their 2DS.
Elder Scrolls on. I'd probably buy it, but I mean, I hate to admit it, but I'd probably buy it.
Right.
But I'm a sucker for Elder Scrolls. Do you see that happening? Do you see us getting a new title
Oh,
alongside Fallout
I
76?
could definitely see them showing a teaser,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we definitely are not going to be getting one this year.
Yeah,
There's just
I agree.
it's
It's
I
just
mean,
it's not gonna
yeah.
happen.
I
Well, and
mean, I
there
could
are
see one next
rumors
year.
they're working on, like sort of a space open world title where
Right.
you're in outer space, and then they're working on Fallout 76, and then who knows, maybe a new Doom title. Like,
And I think
that's a
everybody
thing
was
that could
taken by
happen.
surprise. Well, and everybody was taken by surprise by the Fallout title.
Yeah, so
Everyone assumed that we were going to get a new Elder Scrolls before we get a new Fallout. So,
I don't think they want to cannibalize their MMO. No,
right.
Elder Scrolls. They just released a new expansion, Somerset. I've been playing a little bit of it, just to try to get my Elder Scrolls fix.
I'm,
And
I'm sorry.
it's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, I'm sorry, Dave.
I know. All right, here's one. All right, Star Wars is nowhere to be seen on the E3 floor.
I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Because I know that there's a lot of bad blood right now between Disney and EA,
Mm-hmm.
because EA has been shitting the bed all over the place with the Star Wars titles.
Yeah.
Like let's be honest, Battlefield 2, phenomenal story, and they just took like 3 steps back on the multiplayer,
Yep.
in my opinion, anyways.
I think
And I mean, all of the
99%
controversy
of
about
gamers
it.
agree with you.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think the 1% that hasn't played the game yet. Um,
yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's old news that Disney is talking to other studios about Star Wars titles.
hmm
So I think you're not going to hear anything from EA, because this is going to be another bold prediction of mine that we won't find out until new studios are announced. But
Right.
Disney has basically taken the Star Wars license away from EA.
I agree with that prediction.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me whatsoever to find out that EA has shopped the Star Wars IP to another development studio,
Yeah.
or to another publisher, in whole. We'll have to see.
Because I think that was one of the ones that Respawn was rumored to be working on a new Star Wars game.
It was.
Yeah.
So
And that's why I actually remember now. That's why I was surprised when I went, because I went, oh, they're working on a new Star Wars title. I wonder about Titanfall. And then I went and saw, oh my God, there's a Titanfall 3 in works.
hmm
So good for Respawn. I'm happy for them.
Yes, sir. All right, what do you have for me?
Oh, what do we have on this list, Dave? Let's see. You like Diablo?
I love Diablo.
What do you think we're going to see Diablo-wise? Because we already know that Blizzard is working on a new Diablo.
Absolutely nothing.
No, yeah?
No.
Nothing at all?
Absolutely nothing. They're going to save it
Okay.
for BlizzCon. Let's go to the next one.
Let's see. What about some Kingdom Hearts?
Kingdom Hearts 3. Look, there have been rumors that we're going to be getting a release date very soon. And the timeline when those rumors started about a month ago was that we would see it within a month and a half to 2 months. There has got to be a release date for Kingdom Hearts at E3. It has to happen.
Right.
That game has been seemingly in development hell for such a long time that people are starting to wonder if the third title for Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to go the way of the third title for Half-Life. And that we're never going to see it.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Half-Life, you heard it here first, guys. Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Now, I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game. I've only just kind of rediscovered, now just by saying only, like 9 months ago, rediscovered my love for Disney, and I've always seen those titles, and I've always been like,
They're
but now that I'm back on the Disney train, I definitely am interested to see it. I don't really want to go back and play old ones.
Well, they've done so many HD remasters that when you play the old ones, at least they don't look old. Like, I don't know, you probably haven't kept up with Kingdom Hearts.
No, not whatsoever.
Like, they've got Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD Remix, Kingdom Hearts 1.8 HD Remix, Kingdom Hearts... Like, it became a running joke that because Kingdom Hearts 3 was taking so long, like, they just went back and remastered every single Kingdom Hearts title they had ever released. And that is, for the most part, true. Because each of these, like, 1.5 HD remixes, you would get, like Kingdom Hearts 1, and then you would get one of the 3DS games remastered. You might get one of the PSP games remastered. And then, Kingdom Hearts 2.8 was, like the second Kingdom Hearts, and then another couple games remastered.
Good lord, just looking it up, the last Kingdom, like the initial release for the last Kingdom Hearts was 2005?
Dude, it's been so long.
Like PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2. Yep, it's been such a long time.
I'd have to get it on PlayStation. That makes me a sad panda.
You would have to get it on, but they're probably dirt cheap now, like $15-20.
But do they have it on PlayStation 4? That's
do.
the problem. Okay.
They do.
All right. Oh, hey, maybe I'll have a reason to turn my PlayStation back on.
There you go. Let's talk about the next one, specifically on that one, because this is.
Oh yes, your Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. So I don't think it's gonna be at the show. I don't think the Final Fantasy VII remake is going to be at the show. And at this point, I don't think we're ever going to see a Final Fantasy VII remake.
So, I've got some news for you on that.
What is that?
Apparently... Oh, go away, pop-up. Apparently, it has been listed for pre-order on the Xbox One. I'm trying to figure out where it's being listed as. On Retailer Game, like capital GAME.
What is that?
I don't know. I'm looking it up now.
Some website somewhere said that it was on. No, look.
This looks like a Spanish. This actually looks like the Spanish. Basically, it looks like a Spanish game, like sell, like they sell games and whatnot.
Dude, like
they have it listed for Xbox One, but not PS4.
No, absolutely not. Like, I don't know if they're just trying to get people's money. I don't know if it's a legitimate website. But no. Like, that is so far from confirmation.
Apparently, Walmart Canada has also leaked it for the Xbox One as well.
All right. Okay. I mean, I'll believe a company like Walmart, but I still... Look, we have had games go on pre-order before, and then they've been canceled.
Yeah, well, I mean, Scalebound's a perfect example.
Yeah, Scalebound was.
I mean, if things go the way you're predicting, my Crackdown pre-order is going to be canceled.
Yeah, and Final Fantasy VII, like the weight of the expectations for this game, it's crushing Square Enix, and you can tell because how many head developers have they gone through on this particular title? How many times has it been pushed back? How many times have we heard, the time frame is indefinite on it? We don't know. Like
So I can confirm that Walmart Canada's website has pre-orders for both
for PS4
and
and
Xbox One.
what is it called? What Final Fantasy 7
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
remake? Look,
Let's see.
like you work in the industry and you understand that retailers are willing to take pre-orders
Oh,
on things,
yeah, of
even if we're
course.
not for sure that they're ever going to see the light of day.
Oh, yeah, of
Um,
course. Because you take the money, you make interest off of it, and then you're like, oh, okay, we're gonna give you it back and store credit.
yeah, or I mean, we'll even do it in cash. Like that's
But they've still
fine.
made the interest off of it
Yeah,
for
like and
the years that you've had it on pre-order.
right, and then maybe someone forgets, and then hey, you've made however much money they put down.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna go on record. I don't think we're ever gonna see a Final Fantasy VII remake.
Okay.
I'm sorry, fans. I'm sorry to everyone in their 30s where like Final Fantasy VII was this revelatory moment, and it's what got you into gaming. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Still, I've never played it.
Yeah, we'll move on from that. We'll move on from there. What else do we have to talk about? Your favorite company. One of your favorite companies. You've got a lot of favorite companies.
I do.
All right, Ubisoft
Ubisoft.
announces and shows off the new Assassin's Creed Odyssey,
Yep.
Watch Dogs 3,
Yep.
The Division 2,
Yep.
gives us release dates, and then pushes them all back by at least 6 months.
I love Ubisoft and hate them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely know that they're going to be showing off Assassin's Creed Odyssey
Mm-hmm.
at E3. Everybody's going, oh no, we don't want a new one 1 week or 1 year after Origins came out. And I'm going, well, just them showing it off doesn't mean we're getting a new one this year. Like, calm down.
I completely agree.
Right? I can see them putting out trailers, gameplay, and a release date for Watch Dogs 3. I'm 99% sure that they have confirmed that they're working on one. Let me look that up.
How did Watch Dogs 2 do? Like I know the first one got sort of a middling response, especially because there was the whole E3 controversy over what was shown and what we got. So I
Right.
thought Watch Dogs 2 got a relatively lukewarm reception. I was sort of wondering if they were just going to let the Watch Dogs IP die out. Like,
I'm trying to find sales figures on it.
well, while you're looking up that, I'm gonna talk about the Division 2. So we know it's been confirmed that it's in development, and the Division has made a massive turnaround. They have done some amazing things with that game, responding to user feedback, constant updates. The game is, a lot of times with open world games or MMOs, you see incremental updates over time that don't necessarily change the fabric of the game. They just kind of build up from there. The Division 2 took user feedback and has basically redone the entire game from what it was. It's now almost a first-person shooter version, or a third-person shooter version, excuse me, or first-person, whatever, of Diablo. Like just loot everywhere. Loot drops, loot drops, loot drops. And it's more about collecting all the pieces for the certain set that you're wanting to get. And it's not like when we were playing back in the day, it just took forever to find gear.
Right,
Oh my gosh, and you would find crappy gear, and it was just such a grind. It wasn't very much fun. It was on sale for Steam for $9 the other day, and I almost bought it. I really did.
I was gonna say I actually forgot about this up until now, but I did go back and re-buy the Division again on my Xbox, and Will and I played it for one night, and then we have not touched it since.
There's just, the monkey on Division's back has always been Destiny.
Yes.
Right, it really has. And I think Ubisoft is going to look at this E3 as a chance to really stick it to not only Destiny and Bungie, but also to Anthem. If they can have a really good showing with the Division 2, then they might be able to shoulder their way into that conversation. Because it's
Right.
always like right now, it's Destiny and Anthem.
Yeah.
No one talks about the Division. But it's a really similar game. At
It
least
is.
from a mechanic standpoint, not so
You know
much
what?
from an environment and story standpoint, but
You know what's really funny with the Division for me is I actually see it being much more similar to Diablo.
yeah, I think that's fair
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. I feel like it has more in common with Diablo than it does with games like Destiny and potentially Anthem.
I think it is similar enough to all of those games where if they have a good showing, they would be able to steal pre-orders away from Anthem or, the new Destiny 2, whatever they're going to release, the new expansion. What's it called? They just announced it. I don't even know. I haven't even been paying attention to Destiny.
No. Oh, Forsaken.
Forsaken. There
Yes.
we go. I think there's a chance that they go all in on the Division 2 this E3. And I don't know. What do you think about them pushing them all back by 6 months?
Oh, I mean, it's just the way Ubisoft operates.
Yeah.
I never take any of their release dates at face value anymore. Automatically I just assume 6-month delay on any title that they announce, because they are horrendous for giving hard release dates and then pushing them back.
Yeah. I think that's an industry-wide problem, but I definitely think Ubisoft is one of the worst offenders.
Ubisoft is the most notorious for it.
Yeah, I agree.
So on the topic of Ubisoft, I'm gonna rein back my Watch Dogs 3 because I forgot they had a bunch of other titles. So The Crew 2, we already know has gone through a closed beta.
Right.
Already, so quite obviously we're getting that soon.
Yes.
Skull and Bones. I had completely forgotten about Skull and Bones.
Wow, I had forgotten about that.
And I am really hoping that we see something about it. Though it was announced a month ago that it has suffered a delay. Shocking, I know.
No, my God.
Pushing it into the release window of the 2019-2020 fiscal year.
So that is like second quarter of 2019 to second quarter of 2020. If my understanding of fiscal quarters.
Well, it all depends on the
calendars
company.
Works. Yeah.
It all depends on the company, right? When they decide. Like my company, our fiscal year ends in August.
Yeah.
So
they've got a lot of stuff they could announce.
Yeah, hopefully we see something about Skull and Bones, because I have been dying for that game to come out because I absolutely adored Black Flag.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it is the best Assassin's Creed game that's been made because it was all pirates and very little assassins. So
I'm speechless because you've summed it up so perfectly. Like what can I say? You're right. Well done, sir. So let's move on from Ubisoft. And this was one you had written to me, and I was like, well, no shit. Of course. So we'll get a new Death Stranding trailer, and we'll still all be confused as to what the hell it is. Like, yes?
It was funny. I remember when we watched it last year, and it was so funny because they kept showing the crowd while the trailer was going. And you just have these blank stares on people's faces. Like, they do not understand what the fuck is going on.
Yep.
And then as soon as it ends, they just explode into cheers. And I'm like, what the fuck are you cheering about? You don't know what just happened.
Like, sometimes the most important thing about a video game is the name that is attached to it.
For sure.
Like, Hideo Kojima, he has such a hardcore following that they will get excited about anything he puts his name on. It
Right.
doesn't matter what it is. He could start selling canned tuna. And people will be like, "This is the best canned tuna ever." I don't know why I thought of canned tuna, but that's what I'm going with. We're going to stick with it. And it wouldn't be dolphin safe, and they wouldn't care. Like,
Right.
that's what it is. And yeah, I think we're going to get a new trailer. I think we might even get some gameplay footage. I think
Oh,
Sony would absolutely love to show some gameplay footage off at
they
E3
need
this
to.
year. Yeah.
They absolutely need to, because if they just show another trailer that nobody understands,
Hmm.
I think that's going to take a lot of momentum
Yeah.
out of Death Stranding.
I think we'll get a gameplay trailer, and the people that it's targeted toward will be like, yes, this is the greatest thing ever, and then you and I will kind of be sitting there scratching our beards or faces or whatever and go like,
I don't
what
understand.
what just happened?
I've
Like,
become the old man. I don't get what this game is about.
there's there's a flaming whale in the last Metal Gear Solid.
Oh my god. I
What?
remember. I remember playing it, and as soon as that happened, I was messaging you going, "Dave, what the fuck?"
What? Like, I don't know. I still don't know. I didn't finish the game. It was
No,
too
neither
weird.
have I.
Like, I was just like, I was like, this is awesome. I don't know why it's happening, but I'm all for flaming whales that fly, I guess. I didn't know it's something I wanted in a video game. But I guess that's the beauty
Oh,
of Hideo Kojima's work, is he finds the things you don't know you want and he tosses them in a video game and he says, here, figure it out on your own.
I guess.
And
I guess.
I have left. I think I've left one. And this is another one where we both put it on there and we both had, sort of the opposite idea. I
Okay.
said Sony and Microsoft will announce next gen consoles. And you said there will be no PS5 announcement.
Yes.
Where are you on this?
I'm still firm on it, mostly because they've already confirmed that. Well, so Sony has already confirmed that they are basically in harvest mode for the PS4,
Mm-hmm.
and that at the very minimum, it would take minimum 3 years for
Mm-hmm.
them to get another PS5. So just going off of
Statements.
previous statements, you wouldn't get an announcement about the PS5 till next year.
I don't know.
Now, if we're going to throw Microsoft in there, if they come out and they're like, hey guys, Xbox One 2 is
Right.
coming next year, I would be seriously choked about it.
They can't do that.
They would
cannot do that.
completely alienate people who bought the One X.
Yeah,
like
and
me.
there's no reason for them to do that. That
No.
would be like, you have to let PlayStation go first, because right now you have the best console on the market. And honestly, Microsoft is sitting there just waiting for those bean counters to be like, yeah, we can drop the price $50 or $100.
Oh
And
yeah.
then so many people, because like that $4.99 price tag, that's still scary.
Oh,
Like
for
that
sure.
that scares me. But $3.99, and I
Yeah.
can, sell my old Xbox One, maybe get $100 for it.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's $2.99, and then I'm like, well, that's the price of a PS4,
Yeah.
and it's so much better and so much faster.
And you've got a better online service. Personally, I think it's a better online service.
Yeah, that's a debate for another show. But you
So-
undoubtedly have the strongest console on the market right now. Sony
Yes.
fanboys, me being one of them, can say whatever they want about exclusives or, about checkerboard rendering or whatever they want. But the fact of the matter is the Xbox One X is the undisputed powerhouse console that is on the market right now. And Microsoft would be shooting themselves in the foot to fire the first shot when it comes to the next gen consoles.
Yeah, exactly. And again, so basically, I think we're both in agreement. No console announcements
Yeah.
this year from Microsoft or Sony. Unless they're gonna be like, "Hey guys, portables."
Yeah, or it's like one of those one more things, and then the lights go dim, and you see a PS5 logo, and that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
Like I could see something silly like that happening, just so that people know, yeah, there's gonna be a next PS5.
Well, and I
But
mean, of course, there's going to be another PS5, right?
right,
There will be. It's more the debate is around when it would release
right, and
and how you would stagger your announcements based on that hypothetical release date.
yeah, I agree. I don't think we'll see one this year. I don't think I honestly I think Sony has enough stuff to announce this year. I've also said I wonder if we're gonna get a new Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh god, there would be another reason for me to turn on my PlayStation.
Yeah,
Absolutely adored that game.
I mean I like that is one of their best first party titles right now, and I can absolutely see them releasing a trailer for the new one. The DLC that they released and showed at the last E3 has had a year or so out on the market.
Yeah.
It might be time for a new Horizon Zero Dawn trailer.
Well, didn't
Um,
they just put out like last winter there was a or was it last summer that they put out the expansion?
yeah, it's been like they announced it at E3, and then I think it came out in I want to say like September or
Yeah,
August,
I didn't
something
end up
around
picking that
there.
up. I actually should.
It's really good. But I kind of wonder if that's what Guerrilla Games wants to do, because
Right.
for the longest time they were sort of pigeonholed into that one franchise that I forget the name of, because I didn't play much of it. First person shooter. Um, wow,
Looking it up.
I'm completely blanking right now.
Looking it up. Hold on. Keep
Oh
talking,
my
Dave.
god, it was like
I'll get you there. Killzone. Killzone.
Killzone. I
Oh,
was close.
the Halo killer.
Yeah, and they were pigeonholed into Killzone for so long, and that's what
Right,
they
I remember
did
that
year
game.
after year.
Yep.
And then they're like, finally, a breath of fresh air with Horizon Zero Dawn. We get to do something new. And I wonder if
Right.
the development studio as a whole is like, well, we want to keep doing new things. We don't want to become the new Horizon Zero Dawn, just churning out title after title after title.
Right.
So I wonder what they think about that specifically, and if that has any impact. Probably not, because
Yeah.
let's be honest, they'll just go hire more people.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but
Speaking of Sony first party titles, what do you think? Like, we haven't heard anything from Sucker Punch in ages.
we haven't, and I actually downloaded Second Son yesterday because I
Oh,
had the
did you?
last 2 days off, and I was like, man, I haven't played this game in a long time. Um,
it it was good. I never ended up finishing it, and it wasn't for me going, this game's terrible.
yeah, it for me it wasn't a game, it or First Light. Although I thought First Light was a lot of fun and looked amazing. It for me it wasn't one of those games that just gripped me and like made me play it all the way through. I got distracted, and that happens a lot with me.
Oh,
Um,
well, and that happens to any of us gamers when
yeah,
we are constantly being shoved in our face and we feel the pressure to play the newest thing first.
yeah, absolutely. So I haven't heard anything from Sucker Punch.
They
Like,
have there is a game that they have announced that they're playing or they're working on. Hold on, I'm looking for it. Oh God, no, that's the movie Sucker Punch, not the game.
oh, great movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh God, where is it?
I
Oh,
honestly I haven't heard anything about a new title from Sucker Punch. Like I had completely forgot about them as a development house, until you mentioned them just right now.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, Ghosts of Tsushima.
what the
That is supposedly the game that they're working on right
is that like a working title? Is
now.
that
Have no idea. They so they say it was revealed at the Paris Games Week in 2017. but there's like no link on Wikipedia for it, which basically means that there's basically no information
Yeah, there's
about
nothing to put down.
it. Oh, okay. So I just went to their website, and their their landing page is all about Ghosts of Tsushima.
All right. Well, maybe we'll see some of that.
Yeah, there's like a full trailer and everything, and basically it looks like a samurai,
All right. So
like
I guess Sony
action
is.
adventure samurai.
I guess Sony's letting. God, what was the name of the IP that Second Son and First Light were all under?
Oh, Infamous.
Infamous. There we go. Yeah. I
Yeah,
guess they're kind of letting that chill for a while.
which is funny because that was a launch title for the PS4.
Yeah.
So that means it's been like 8 years. 8 years? 5 years?
5 years? 4
5
or 5
years.
years?
Yeah, 2013. Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's surprising.
Interesting.
Who
I
knows?
wonder-
Maybe Sucker Punch will blindside us with a new Infamous.
Well, I wonder if Sony was like, we've got Horizon Zero Dawn now.
True enough. That
Like
could be
similar
their open world
titles.
adventure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would disappoint me. I really like the Infamous series. I thought that it was really well done. The story was great. The settings and the characters were engaging. I'd be disappointed if we found out that Infamous is now done.
I never really played them. Like, I thought they were good, and I know they had a huge fan following, but I never really played them all that much. But it always sucks to see a venerable IP like kind of get the axe, and you're just like, wow, we're never gonna see this again.
Yeah.
All right, so one last thing. If you had just one crazy off the wall prediction out of left field to say this is something we're gonna see, what would it be? What would you most want to see?
Oh, well, what I would most want to see is them actually give us a Crackdown hard release date.
So, but
and like a trailer and gameplay demo. That's what I most want right
something
now.
that can actually happen.
Oh. Oh, you're such a troll.
I do my best.
I guess besides that, I'd love to see a gameplay and reveal for Titanfall 3.
Yeah. Yeah,
that would be my like best case scenario.
That was the first thing I thought of when I was like, what do I want to ask Dan about Titanfall 3? That was absolutely it. So I think I've got two. I want Fable to be reborn. I want a new Fable game. And then I want someone to announce that they're bringing back EverQuest as like a new EverQuest. I want a new EverQuest. I've got to have it. I'm so sad with what happened to EverQuest 3 or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, you're basically going at two titles that basically ended up with the same fate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
like Lionhead Studios got shut down, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're done for.
We were supposed to get that Fable that was like a Diablo style thing.
Yeah, Fable Legends or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, you know what I really would have loved to see out of Lionhead?
What's that?
If they were still around, a new Black and White.
Oh, Black and White. All right, we need to stop the show because we're gonna start reminiscing, and it's gonna be another hour and 10 minutes, which is what we're already at. We're always like, I had this list, and I was like, all right, it's gonna be like a 20-30 minute show at least. An hour 10 minutes later.
You always forget about how we reminisce.
Yeah, and how we're both terrible at being concise and succinct, and I just used two adjectives that said the same thing in a single sentence, and that's why we're stuck. Well, that's why we suck at this, because yeah. So
what I'm hearing is you need to have the alarm come back. Oh no, there we go.
So many people hated that. I cannot tell you, I've never gotten feedback on one of our shows until you did that shit, and people were like, no, No, you can't have this happen. First piece of feedback I ever got, it wasn't, hey, you guys are great, or hey, you guys suck. It was, hey, that alarm is fucking annoying. This is the first and the last piece of feedback we've ever gotten. And on that note, I think we're going to end it right
We
here.
bid you adieu.
Guys, I hope all of your E3 dreams come true, and I hope you are not crushed by the coming disappointment, because I know some of us are going to be disappointed. It's just going to happen.
The tears will flow.
The tears will flow, and we'll be there with a little handkerchief to dab them off your face when we talk to you next time on Midnight Launch.